Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Taylor Striker, and welcome to another starter guide. Today, Reinhardt. So let's get right into the guide. So straight off the bat, we're talking about Reinhardt's melee, which is his rocket hammer. It's really unique compared to everything else because of the fact that Reinhardt's rocket hammer is only melee. And all the other heroes have some kind of range except for Reinhardt. Reinhardt is 100% melee. Although that actually is not that bad because of the fact that he has a shield and, well, he has a charge to get in close with someone. But you don't really get in close with someone with Reinhardt. You have another purpose to fill as Reinhardt, which is tanking. But we'll talk about that later. First of all, we'll just continue talking about his rocket hammer. So his rocket hammer swings in a 180 degree. If you spin around fast enough, it can swing in a 360 degrees, which is pretty good because the hammer 3 shots basically anything that is 200 health or under, and Reaper included. So it is actually a heavy damage dealing rocket hammer. And also it does a little bit of knockback, which, I mean, I guess that's kind of good, but you won't be really using your hammer for a lot of things because your main role is tanking, but let's get to that later. Now let's talk about his first ability, which is his Fire Strike. What does his Fire Strike do? It shoots a giant fiery line of doom that basically does as much damage as a single hammer swing. This thing, well, it's pretty good since it goes through barriers and it can go through people. No pun intended, giggity. And also, this thing is on a relatively short cooldown, so you can relatively use this pretty fast. But the thing is that it's pretty slow, so yeah, you won't be spamming that, or well, people won't be walking into that anytime soon. It's practically the speed of the Symmetra alternate fire, which is pretty slow. Really pretty slow. So now let's talk about Reinhardt's ability that everyone loves, his charge. His charge pretty much one-shots anything 200 health and under, Reaper included. And also this can, well, just boost him into a fight really fast. It's a mobility ability, if you would say so. And it's actually really overrated. It's actually pretty hard to charge into someone because you're fast, don't get me wrong, but you're nowhere as fast as a bullet. So whenever you're charging into someone, well, they have a pretty good chance of dodging it. Except if you're talking about Bastions, since Bastions, well, they don't really move. So, you know, it's pretty easy to charge a Bastion, which makes Reinhardt kind of a counter Bastion, I would say so myself. Next of all, we are talking about Reinhardt's shield, which is probably the most overused ability in Overwatch. So what does the shield do? It provides insane 2000 health cover for everyone, basically, behind you. It's really good, and it can cover a giant mass. It's really good for payload maps because just put a shield in front of a payload and your team would be behind you. It can also block a lot of stuff, like you see that just blocked a D vault. It can block a lot of damage or even ultimates. But one thing that it can't really block is probably, well, any over damaging ultimates like Roadhog's ability and Diva's ability. Pharah's ultimate. But those can be blocked with Diva's ability. Diva's shield-looking thingamabobber. Defense Matrix. Which, well, Reinhardt and Diva, it's a pretty good combo if you ask me. Now, last of all, we're talking about his ultimate, his Earth Shatter. Which, what he does is he basically stuns everyone in front of him in a cone shape. This is really good. So it's basically telling your team, hey, look at these people, they're sitting ducks, just kill them already. And your team would do as you wish and kill all those sitting little ducks. And this is also a good chance to use your Fire Strike since it passes through everyone. Using it will pass through everyone that you, well, hit in your Earth Shatter. And also, this is a good chance to charge since, well, they're not moving. They can't really dodge or charge, if you know what I'm saying. And also, this is what comes in handy about your hammer. Your hammer is a 180 swing, so you can basically hit everyone in that small radius. Now we're going to talk about Reinhardt's main role and how you should play Reinhardt and who he counters and who counters him. So, first of all, Reinhardt is a tank, so you should be tanking someone and not like what I just did and go chasing after people. So you should always be providing your team coverage in front of a payload or, well, if we're moving on to a point. Your job is to tank, not to kill. And talking about that, if you do find like a really low health target and, well, I don't know, they're pretty essential to their other team's team, then sure, chase after him a little bit and hammer him down. But only at a situation where, well, your team is focusing on the rest of the team. Or if the other team is basically dead and you just want to chase off some scavengers and make sure they're dead with the horn charging. So, the only situation that you should be chasing after people and actually killing them with your hammer is if Anna nano boosts you, which happens multiple times in this recording. So if you're nano boosted, make sure to use it to your advantage and hammer people down, because that's what you do when you nano boost. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about who counters Reinhardt and who Reinhardt counters. So Reinhardt actually does not counter much people, except for, well, some, which is Bastion. Bastion is pretty much the only person that he would counter. Yeah, you heard me. The other people, well, he's neutral. He doesn't counter them or... Actually, forget that. Add Soldier in there also, since your shield can completely disrupt his stabilizers. Actually, I also add McCree. Okay, this list is going on longer. Basically, any heroes that does damage from a distance, you counter them because you have your shield provided for a good distance coverage. Widowmaker, you bet it. I don't know. McCree, you bet it. You counter all of them. Junkrat, well, sort of. You're kind of a mediocre match against Junkrat. But you pretty much counter any long distance target. Except if you're talking about Bastion, which for Bastion, you just charge into battle, and then he's dead. Yes, you just charge into a Bastion, and Bastion is dead. So Bastion is an even more easier solution, and you counter Bastion even more as Reinhardt. So now for people that counter you, we have, first of all, the Tank Eater himself, Reaper. So Reaper does a lot of damage and does his damage in a close range. And you will starting to see the trend of this video where basically every single hero that does damage in a close range counters Reinhardt, because Reinhardt provides coverage for long range, not close range. So whenever that pesky little Reaper comes up, you're pretty much dead, especially because he legitimately eats your health so much you won't be able to kill him. Unless he's like really low, which, well, that's another situation. Yeah. And next of all, another thing that counters you is Roadhog. Roadhog is also a close range damage dealer. He can also pull you out of your team composition, leaving your team completely vulnerable. Also, his ultimate can completely obliterate your shield, making your shield absolutely useless as crap. And also, Tracer and Genji, they are all counters against you because they're fast mobility and you can't really block them since they go close to do damage. They like doing their work close. And, well, yeah, you really have nothing to do with them because of how insanely close you need them. Maybe you can hammer them a little bit, you maybe can tease them a little bit by, just like smacking them. But, well, their damage output and speed basically is like triple of yours. So if they're low in health, they'll probably run away safely since how slow you are and all those things. And also, Diva counters you because, well, Diva has more health than you, and Diva has more close range damage than you. And notice how it's at close. Yes, Diva does damage in close range, which means, you guessed it, counters you. Anything that is close range counters you, Reinhardt. So, well, yeah, that's all I got. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this guide, please smash that like button in the face as hard as you can. And make sure to subscribe for more starter guides. And if this guide helped you at all, make sure to leave a like and tell me what guide should I do next. Reinhardt, I think it's pretty essential, so play Reinhardt. And Reinhardt isn't really that easy to play. It says 1 star, but he's pretty hard to play. Well, anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Peace. And by the way, also I'm gonna leave the footage running because I feel like this was a really, really clutch play. This was a really good play of Reinhardt. And there's also some failures in this gameplay. So I'll let you guys watch this. Hope you learn from this recording. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
In your eyes is like a glitter ball. The feel of your skin is like a liquid gold. Don't you know that you're a miracle? And I will love you come rain or shine, through hurricanes or fields of fire. I will be with you till the end of time.